So very welcome to all of you. What a lovely couch. But you join us on this special night. There's a frisson in the air because BTS in the building.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, Harry, do you know who BTS are?
I have no idea.
Jamie, BTS?
Yeah, I know who they are.
Do you really?
I didn't say I was a fan. I just know who they are.
Oh, they'll turn. Don't let them turn. Rosamund?
I do now.
OK, yeah. But you spent time in Korea, didn't you?
Yes, in fact, I'm actually an honorary citizen of the Kingdom of Busan. In fact,
wow.
I had the pleasure of doing a press tour with Tom Cruise, and we went to Busan, and we were both made honorary citizens, and we got this beautiful Korean gong, which I transported back to England. And then I was delighted to find that there's a restaurant in my area called Busan. So I went to the restaurant with the gong and presented well, in the hope of a free meal. I mean, it never goes away. There's no hope of a free meal. And they just looked very perplexed.
Thank you very much.
Anyway, yes.
And talking of getting parts in films, Rosamund, you in Gone Girl, to make sure you got that part, you went to extraordinary ends. Where were you? You were in Scotland.
No, I was in Glasgow, and I'd rented a remote cottage for the film I was doing, which is sort of my wont to get out of the way. But then, of course, I didn't have a very good internet connection, and David Fincher wanted to do multiple Skypes with me. So I had to join the Virgin Active in Glasgow, the gym. And then proceed never to use the gym, but to ask occasionally for a conference room. I don't know what they thought I was up to, but anyway, I did get a very good internet service, thank you, Richard Branson. And it came to the point where David wanted to run through some lines and do some scenes. And there's a scene towards the end of the film where Amy is... you know, really playing it up for the FBI and talking about the abuse she suffered. She didn't suffer any at the hands of Desi. And I used to have to say things like, you know, I was spread-eagled on a bed and I was shaved and raped and, you know, it gets pretty dark, right? And anyway, I'm doing this with the sort of best of my gusto and there's this nervous knock at the door and this woman pokes in. She says, I'm terribly sorry. She says, we're actually closing now. And I said, oh, I'm so sorry. I said, I should say that if you were listening to... She goes, no need to explain. And I thought, oh, my goodness, she thinks I'm here for therapy.
Just shut the door.
That's hilarious, man.
Harry Connick Jr., you now... Because, so, obviously, fans like taking selfies and things. Now, you don't take selfies. You take a different thing. Is this your thing, or do other people do this?
Well, I thought it was cool to take a selfie with a celebrity in the background, but if you make it too obvious, then the celebrity will know. So what I do is I get the celebrity like I'm taking a selfie of myself, but I'll put the celebrity in the background, but get half of my face in the frame, and I call it a stalky. And the more famous the celebrity, the more points you get.
You've posted some. Is that J-Lo?
Now that's like seeing a unicorn, because J-Lo is taking a selfie and I am taking a stalky of her taking a selfie, that is called stalknique. That's very hard to do.
We've got another one. Is that Tony Bennett?
That's Tony Bennett, yeah. That was close quarters, so he was only about 10 feet behind me. That's very, very difficult to do.
You're like David Attenborough. Just Now, this on the set of Will and Grace...
That's unbelievable. Graham, that's unbelievable what I'm doing right there. You may not understand it, but when you go back and watch this again and again, my segment, you'll see that that is the cast of Will and Grace taking a selfie, and I got all of them in my stalky. That's impossible to do.
What I notice is, though, you're not in it. They're taking a selfie, but they know you're in the studio, and they want, is he in it? No. Like...
What I left out was that they did not invite me to be in their selfie, so I chose the next one.
What is it? Do you want to try and take a a stalky now?
With everyone, this would be one of the great moments of my life.
Oh, you take...
Can you just do what you do and I have to set it up?
Okay, you set it up,
okay.
And then what we'll do is we're having the best time without Harry here. We are having a blast.
Blast.
Okay. Are you ready? Are you ready? Okay, here we go. So we're going...
Stop.
Best show ever.
Good, it's good. It's so good.
We're good, we're good.
Look at that. See that?
Oh.
Can we zoom in on that?
Yeah, we can. Oh, that is good.
That's great, yeah.
Oh! You're in it. You're in it.
That's good. I'm really good at it, so if you get home and you try it and you realize that yours aren't as exciting as mine, you'll get there.
Rosamund, I don't think of you as musical. And yet, but both of your parents were were they professional opera
They're
singers?
professional opera singers.
That's
yes.
amazing.
Yeah, I grew up with that. That was my standard of sort of drama. Life was dramatic.
And did you give it a go,
Young age.
the opera singing?
No, I was told to keep my mouth very shut.
Oh,
Yes, the funny thing is, you know, you had a house filled with music, and I had a house of professional musicians, and I think because they did it as a profession, when they listened to music, they listened to it under headphones. So a lot of the time, we didn't have background music because they were of the attitude that if you were listening to music, you were listening to music. You didn't have it on as something in the background.
I remember being in a house,
so
and opera singers were rehearsing in like a normal house, you know, normal rooms.
Yes.
It was so loud, like as loud as you think it's going to be. It was insanely loud.
No, it's a very exciting thing. I mean, an opera singer close-up is one of the most exciting sort of human instruments, I suppose, because you see this sound come out of someone and you can't quite see where it's located.
Yeah.
It's powerful and it's moving.
Well, music is Jamie Dorman's life, really. You love singing, don't you?
Okay.
I mean, you've done very well not to sing so far. No, you do. You sing a lot.
I'm an annoying singer. I'm not like I'm like a singer around the house guy.
Yeah.
Bad. Like my wife hates it. It's bad.
No, but
Can I just say for the record, I didn't understand a word of what you said. Did you get any of that?
I did.
I seriously.
She says he doesn't
but you know what?
sing
You're
around the
so
house.
charismatic and handsome that it totally didn't matter. Like I just kind of went somewhere else. No, but I literally did not get a word.
He says he sings around the house, but his wife doesn't like it.
Oh, got it.
We can't continue the night with every time I talk, Whippy having to tell you what I say.
Do you understand that? Do you understand that?
Yeah. No, I did get because you slowed it down. There was something. I just kind of got lost in your eyes for a minute.
Just come to Belfast, do some shows.
Yeah, oh my gosh.
That's right.
Oh,
Yeah, for sure.
You are here tonight to tell us about an extraordinary film. It's called A Private War. It's being shown at the London Film Festival on the 20th of October and then opens later in the year. And this is a true story about a journalist, Marie Colvin. And if people have... I mean, because it's quite recent, this
Yes.
story. Tell us about Marie.
Marie Colvin was a reporter for the Sunday Times, a war correspondent. She went all over the world reporting on some of the sort of darkest human tragedies. And one of her main things to commend her was that she often went to places where everybody else was fleeing from. And she went in when her sort of fear threshold or danger threshold was higher or lower, whichever way you have to put a threshold, than others. So, for instance, in East Timor, she and people were evacuating from a UN-protected compound. Everybody was on the last plane out, and she stayed because she realised that if all the journalists and all the humanitarian workers left, then there was nothing to stop the militia overrunning this compound and killing everybody. So her editor was, you know, quite anxious about this because he was like, Marie, why the hell aren't you on that plane? And she said, well, I don't know, but everyone seemed to be leaving, but I'm here and I'm comfortable with that. And he's like, well, what do you mean everyone's leaving? He said, where are all the men? And she's like, I guess they don't make men like they used to.
But
So
she did save thousands of people.
And by staying, yes, I think she really felt that she turned the tide of events, and she did, because hers was the only coverage, and I think she was part of the decision that the UN did not evacuate, and all those people were saved.
And watching the film, because she keeps going back, what do you know, now that you've lived in this woman's mind, I mean, was she a sort of addicted to that fear or that danger, or what was it?
I think it's really complicated.
Yeah.
I think it was a job she was really good at, and she had tremendous capacity for empathy. And I think she really believed that if you're someone with great empathy, you can go to some of these darkest places on earth, and instead of, you know, what's the norm is that it's very tempting to close your eyes and focus on your cornflakes, but I think she felt that her words could penetrate. And I think it does become a sort of addiction. I also think she was, could be quite a mess in her on a personal level. You know, life has a clarity when you're in danger. You know, you're dealing with absolutes, you're dealing with life and death, and then you come home to receipts and bills and failed marriages and everything feels less relevant and more complicated.